Hi everyone, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. As you know, I am doing some spiritual work here where we are exposing the kingdom of darkness. Our videoing and stuff have not gone professional as yet. We have not got the right tools that we need as yet. But the Lord say we shall move with what we have. So we've got mouth, we've got knowledge, and we've got our phone. So people bear with us and have mercy. Bear with us, bear with us. We will improve as we go along and take in the messages from the story. So I'm going to play a video here now, and we are going to listen to these videos. These videos are changing lives. It will meet the right people who it have to meet, and people's lives are being changed. You know, everybody, it might not be doing in this expensive professional way that some people might want it, but the message is being spread, and we give God glory for that today. We give the Almighty God Creator all the glory for that, and we are going to go forward. So let's go forward, and we are going to play a video here. What's happening? Sorry, people. Let's start over. Oh, let's just keep it. Let's just keep it. Sorry. We're going to use this as our background photo. Let's go.
Guys, this message is a translation of a message that I received last week. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi. Can you please post and share my story with your audience as anonymous? My brother, I am so sick. Even as I am speaking with you right now, I am so sick. But when I look at my life, I don't have anyone to turn to. Neither do I have anyone to share with my story. Back in the day, there was one point in time when healthy-wise I was still okay. Back in those days, I had even tried to run around trying to dump or to throw away all the things that I used to use when I had done my rituals. Let me say that I tried, but dismally I failed. My brothers, as of my days here on earth are numbered. I feel that death is knocking at my doorstep. I am facing a rare disease that is said to have no cure. This I was told by the doctors. Sometimes I get so sick, and when this happens to me, I feel a burning sensation throughout my body. I have a strange illness that burns right through my body. So my brother, I have decided that it is better that I confess. Maybe, God willing, you will forgive me. It was in 2014, and in 2014, that is where I can say my story began. I had just joined Facebook. When I joined Facebook, I then joined a group that had a name written on it. The name was written like, Get Rich Without Spilling Any Blood. Whilst I was in that group, I then noticed that a couple of people were complaining, saying that there had been a lot of scamming that was going on in that group. This happened until one day there was in that group a certain group member who posted, and he said that, my brothers and my sisters, is it not better that we create a group on WhatsApp so as to stop this scamming that all of us are complaining about? This discussion, which we had discussed about forming a WhatsApp group, this happened in 2017. So from Facebook, we joined the WhatsApp group. When we had joined the group, we started planning and planning. We gave each other's ideas on which was the best way to get rich using rituals. What we will do is that we used to exchange numbers that belonged to people who were said that they have helped other people to do these money rituals. We once had a discussion on what we were supposed to do. Say that you did a ritual and you selected one of your relatives that you think will be suitable enough for your rituals. We were told that after we had done our ritual performances, we had to lay the body of the deceased in the coffin, but facing down. This was done so that the soul of the deceased would wander around, and if it wanted to look for you, it will not be able to find you. So this is what I did to my own mother. I sacrificed my mother. This was in 2018. My mother was then my first sacrifice. At that time, I was working in town, but the people whom I was working for treated me so bad. You all know what it is like to work for fellow black men. Eventually, I got tired of working for such a small salary, and at that time, when I stopped working in the group, there was a couple of guys in that WhatsApp group who were planning to go to do their rituals, their money rituals, so I then joined them. When we went, it was but the four of us. We went into a certain country, and in that country, people prefer to use motorcycles than cars as a means of transportation. So we arrived in that country, and as we were waiting for transport to take us to the place where we were told to go for our money rituals, but the only problem that we had was that we wanted to travel together and we didn't want to get separated, since to us this was but a foreign land and there was only one motorcycle and it wasn't going to be able to carry the four of us in one go. So the motorcycle guy was busy calling his other motorcycle friends, telling them to come and to pick us up, but all of a sudden that guy just threw his phone on the ground and he started to run like a madman. As for the four of us, we just stood there. We were so shocked that in one instant this guy was perfectly fine, but the next thing he was running away from us as if he were a madman. As we stood there in shock, we suddenly saw a cat, and that cat spoke to us as if it was a human being. So amongst the four of us, we had a very young man. When he heard that the cat was speaking, he wanted to run away, but we stopped him from running away, reminding him that we had came all this way and we were going to go back as a rich man. That speaking cat then said to us, "Follow me." We walked as we followed that cat, but as we were following that cat, our knees shook in fear. But the thought of becoming rich gave us the courage, so we followed that cat along. Then all of a sudden, the cat mysteriously vanished. And if I were to be asked what happened from the time that that cat vanished till the time that we arrived at this spiritualist place, I am totally clueless as to what had happened. When we arrived at this spiritualist house, we quickly realized that this house was surrounded by trees. These trees were so thick, so much that not even the leaves of these thick trees could even shimmer with light, even though it was midday. But not even a single ray of sunlight could penetrate into the compound of this spiritualist homestead. We were greeted and we shook hands with some scary people or creatures. These scary creatures seemed as if their bodies were boneless. As for the faces of these creatures, you could not look at them twice, you could not look at them thrice without being hit by extreme fear. These creatures' faces, one could not see them because they had extended flesh on their faces that covered their eyes. These scary beings took us and we were placed in a certain room. They stripped us naked and they made us to wear clothes that were so heavy. After those creatures had finished bathing us, we were made to lie down in the middle of the compound. As the four of us lay there in the middle of the compound, a snake, which was so big, appeared from nowhere, and it started to lick our bodies. Brother Nashi, let me stop here, because I am afraid that the oath and the covenant that we did, I might end up exposing other people, in which it will do me no good. As for me, I was given some oil, but that oil was in a very small bottle. But what would happen to that bottle is that if you would take it out of your pocket whilst you were in direct sunlight, When you would look at that bottle, you would see that inside that bottle there was fire. Sometimes you could even see bolts of lightning flashing inside that bottle. As for me, the oath that I was made to swear was that when we would return back home, when I would see that now I was close to our home, I was supposed to take out that small bottle, place some oil from that bottle on my hands. This oath that I had sworn could only be fulfilled when I would then greet that relative which I had chosen as my sacrifice. Unfortunately, when I arrived back home, my mother was not there. I then remembered that I had been told that if I were to arrive back home and if I were to find out that my relative, that one that I had chosen as my sacrifice, was not there, I was not supposed to sit down until they had arrived. Unfortunately, or maybe it was just bad luck, but when I arrived home, so did my older brother, and my mother's brother had also came to pay my mother a visit. I knew the consequences that would happen if I were to sit down before the return of my mother, but in our culture, it will be considered disrespectful for me to keep on standing, yet my uncle and my older brother were seated down, so I also sat down. As we were seated down discussing about life, I felt it in my pocket. It was that small bottle of oil. The oil inside that small bottle started to boil, and suddenly that same cat appeared, and it was only I who saw it. The cat said to me, "You have broken your oath," and then it just disappeared. My mother, yes, my mother, I had no choice. I had to make her my sacrifice. After that, I tried to go back to that place where we had gotten our blood money, but I couldn't locate that place, because for you to go there, you have to be accompanied by that cat. The day that my mother died, I knew that on that day she will surely die. I had been told that on that day my mother will die, and I had been given an instruction to buy a coffin. I bought the coffin, and I placed that coffin in my house that I was staying in at that time. On that day that my mother died, I was told that when I was going to sleep, I should leave the windows and the doors wide open, so that when my mother's spirit comes to my house, it will then find an entrance into the house. It was somewhere around 8 p.m. That is the exact time when my mother died. When my mother died, the whole house vibrated. On top of the house, there was a very violent whirlwind, so violent like I'd never seen before. That whirlwind circled the whole house, and my brother, that whirlwind finally entered into my house through the bedroom window. As that violent whirlwind entered my house through my bedroom window, I cursed it, because I knew that it was no whirlwind at all, but it was the spirit of my dead mother. I cursed my mother's spirit, holding that small bottle of oil as I was saying, "Mother, go into that coffin. Mother, go into that coffin that I have bought for you. Mother, go into the house that I have prepared for you." The spirit of my mother then entered into that coffin which I had kept in my room. When the spirit entered into that coffin, it transformed and it became my mother, but she was still dead. When the whirlwind had transformed into becoming my mother, I then made sure that I turned her body around so that she can lay with her face facing down. My brother, if I tell you that this is what then happened to my deceased mother. My mother was buried with her face facing down. On my mother's funeral, there was so much confusion, and I was the one who was causing all of that confusion. The people who prepared my mother's body and the people who dressed her up so that we can prepare for her burial, those people were already possessed by my ritualistic spirits, so possessed that they placed my deceased mother's body laying with her face down in her coffin. My brother, my mother was buried without us performing any body viewing on her, and I was the one who caused all of that confusion. Fast forward to today, my brother Nashi, the oath that I failed to fulfill is now turned against me. I have tried to go around seeking help. I even tried to go around sleeping with different women, because whenever I sleep with a woman, I give that woman bad luck. I thought that by doing so on my side, maybe it will get better. But with all the women that I have given bad luck, but still it has failed to help me. I sacrificed all of my relatives except for my younger brother. This little brother of mine, there was a place where I once went. When I went there, what I wanted was that I wanted my deceased mother's spirit to be placed on my little brother so that it wouldn't give me any troubles. But I don't know what happened. Maybe the person didn't know what he was doing, but I think that he just failed to command my deceased mother's spirit to torment my little brother instead of tormenting me. I was then told that my little brother is now mad. When I was told this, that is when my sickness began. That burning sensation that I feel, that is when it all began. Also at times, there is another snake that comes. It just appears from nowhere. Then it sucks my blood. I am so sick. Even if you were to see me, you will see that this person is just sick. But when I went to the doctor, I was told that I am okay and there was nothing wrong with me. Now what happens to me is that whenever I try to go out to look for help, then money just disappears from that coffin. When I look at that coffin that I keep in my bedroom, it is being eaten up by termites. This coffin used to fill up with huge sums of money, but it no longer does that. My brother, my WhatsApp audio is now a little bit too long, but brother, it is better that I confess before I die. Those women that I told you that I used to sleep with, just to give them bad luck, in my dreams I am shown that one of those women, she fell pregnant for me. Then she gave birth to a baby boy. So when she gave birth, she thought that that boy she had given birth to was her husband's child, but it was mine. God forgive me. But for a very long time, I have tried so many times to place the spirit of my deceased mother on top of that boy. But each and every time that I try to do so, this boy just disappears. I just wish that at least for a second, I can just place the spirit of my deceased mother on that boy. Maybe it will just give me some sort of relief because I have suffered so much. Dear listeners, right there was a message that I received.
You see how people wicked? He repenting, but he still want to pass on his wicked deeds onto his innocent brother. These people are evil. That is how they does sacrifice their own children and stuff. They doing their nonsense. We're not taking part in it. And then they are trying to sacrifice us. This is madness. These people are too damn evil. Take your punishment now. The coffin stopped filling up with money and now the coffin is filling up with termite. What you sow you shall reap. Ain't you want to go by the devil? It is well. Seek the Lord, people. Seek the Lord.